Good night. My name is Alan Said Lopez. I'm from group 602 and my teammate is Francisco Cruzon Torres. This is our video for challenge number 10. The objective of this challenge or this app is to design a mobile application for tracking the user's expenses. It must contain a menu with the current balance and expenses. It must include an amount and description about them. And by pressing the save button, that in this case is the deposit and withdraw ones, it must display the available balance. And also, and when opening the app, it must show the available balance. It must include innovative elements that allow new functions or appearance improvement. When opening our app, this is the main and only screen, and this is the first thing we see. Starting from the top is a Coppel logo. We decided to base this application on a Coppel app, like any other bank app. Then we have a label that says your Coppel balance, 2 points, and our Coppel balance, that in this case is our balance. Then we have a text box that says write the quantity here. Here, this text box, we are gonna use it to insert the input or value to deposit or withdraw to the current balance. Then we have two buttons. I will explain their functions later. And finally, transactions of today or a transactions record. I'm going to do an example of how this app works. Two examples. First, if we write any quantity, let's say we have, I don't know why we have $0.01. Let's say we deposit what, $1,000. It adds to the current balance. Then if we want to withdraw it, let's say I need $300. If I press withdraw, it will le resta. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say it in English. I will search later. To the current balance. Now we have 700. 1000 minus 300 is 700. I'm going to, just because I don't know, I don't want the 0.01 to be there. Okay. Then we have the transactions of today. It's a record of what we did today and the time it was done. For example, we did 3 actions. Deposit $1,000, withdraw $300, and withdraw $0.01. Then it says at and the date and time that it was done. I'm doing the homework at this time. Okay. Now I'm going to explain how this works. First, we initialize with two variables. One, creating an empty list to use it to the transactions record, and one that in this case we called it money is set to 0 when initialized. This variable, we are going to use it a lot on it's the value that is going to add or subtract, that was the word, to the current balance. Then we have a timer, a clock one timer specifically. Every 10 seconds, I'm going to do an action fast. I added 100. Every 10 seconds, it will update. There we go. It updated the transactions record every 10 seconds. That's why the clock is there. Then we have, when initializing the screen, we call the cloud database. We used a cloud database because we saw that it was easier than the tiny database. To get the value of the tag value, and if the tag is not there, it's a 0. Then we have when the cloud database dot got value, we use this function to get a value of the database, specifically to get the money that is on the database, our current balance. And in that function, you can see it clearer on the document. We set our global money variable to the local value and the label one to the global money. So we display the current balance. Next is finally is the two buttons, withdraw and deposit. Here, this is the largest by far. I'm going to start with the deposit because withdraw has an extra function. We have to have a clock and a notifier. First, we use an if condition that when the deposit button is clicked, it has a condition inside that is if the text box, this one, is empty, it will call the notifier and show no value was inserted. For example, I'm going to do this. No value was inserted. Else, it will set the money, what we already set to the current balance, to itself plus what is on the text box, because it's deposit. In withdraw is going to be subtraction. Then it's going to set the label 1 to the money, so we have the updated the current balance and show it on the screen. Then we call the cloud database and store the value so that it's not lost when closing the app to the tag value, the first tag that we use when initializing the screen. And our value to store is the current balance, that is the global money. And finally, we have to add items to the list global record, the first variable that I explained. And the item is going to be the join of the symbol plus, we can see it clear here below, plus the text box text, whatever we put here, then add, and then we call the clock with format date time in the instant call clock now with the pattern months, days, years, and hours, minutes, seconds, and PM or AM. I don't know how to say that. This we do this and we have this record. And finally, on this last thing on this block is set the text box to nothing, so we can put another value. Now the withdraw button, it's the same, exactly the same. The only thing that changes, we could use a procedure here, but it was easier to just copy paste. The only thing that changes, it has an else if condition that if our current balance or label 1.text is less than 0, the notifier is going to say there is no money to withdraw. For example, I'm going to do this. There we go. Now we own debt to the bank. If we want to withdraw more money, let's put 99. It shows the notifier. If we want to put even more money, 2000, it shows the notifier. That's all that changes between the deposit and withdraw button, just the symbol. Now, if we close the app, there we go. Okay, if we close the app and open it again, the current balance was stored on the cloud database, so it's not lost when closing the app. We can see it here, minus 100. Our innovation in this app was the to use the cloud database to add a notifier, a clock, and finally the transactions record with the time. This was our video for challenge number 10. Thanks for listening. Good night.